Good evening to all of you. So we will continue from the yesterday's lecture that was on web mapping using leaflet. So today also we have a very exciting or a very good session today we are going to have, that is on development of a web GIS application using Mashup architecture. So today basically I will be taking you two ways of developing a web GIS application. We can develop a web GIS application without even writing a single piece of code also. Okay, so but there are certain limitations to that one. If we write the code, we have full control on that web GIS application. Whereas if we are not writing any piece of code and we are directly generating that web map, there are certain limitations for it. But at least a basic level of web GIS application can be developed with that approach also. So today we will see both the approaches, how to develop a web Mashup architecture using some softwares or using and also using some programming scripting language like leaflet. Okay, so basically if you see what is a Mashup, what is a Mashup web GIS application. So as the Mashup, from the name itself, it is clear from different sources. So earlier it was like a Mashup song people used to create, where they used to take the tunes from different sources and create a mashup of that song or any music. So same concept can be applied with your web GIS application also. So here we take information published from multiple sources and integrate it into a new information stream. You take information from multiple sources, produce your, and then publish your own new information. Okay, so now if you say here that Mashup, it is in the form of a hybrid web application. Basically, we can call it a hybrid web application because we are taking the information from different sources, and its technology is very much labeled under Web 2.0. That also I have told you that there are various, there was a drastic change in the web technology from Web 2.0 onwards. Now Web 3.0 is also coming up with that semantic web, we call it. So most of the Mashup application, they basically make use of a base map, a geocoder, and a web interface. This already I have covered in the very first lesson. So we will move further here. Now, what are the key technologies behind to create a Mashup? So in one line, the answer is API or a web service. This is the basic or the building block of a Mashup based web application. So you need to have an API, that is known as application programming interface. So if you are having that API or a web service, then you can easily create a Mashup architecture. You can also integrate your local data with API as well, so that it can be used for appropriate decision making applications. API and web services both are more or less same thing. We can say that all the web services, all the APIs actually, they are web services only. All the web services are API, but all the APIs are not web services. Okay, there are certain mechanisms we can also access these processes through some other mechanism other than web. So the processes which are available on the web, they are known as web APIs or the web services. So so the building block of a Mashup architecture is a web API, or we also call it as a web service. Now this web service or the web API is in two formats. It is available. It can be a free and open source, and it can also be proprietary, or we can say subscription based APIs also. Third category, if you say subscription, basically comes under the proprietary classification only, because subscription based means you pay how much you are using. Suppose I am making some 1000 requests, so I need to pay for 1000 requests only. And if I am making more than that request, then some extra amount you have to pay for that. So subscription based APIs are also very much popular. The same thing is true with your mapping APIs also. There are proprietary as well as open source. Proprietary, though it is, there are many, like Google is also now they are charging something for the usage of the map APIs. Similarly, ESRI, and there are many. They also offer free as well as proprietary. Both options are available with some of the proprietary vendors. They will some portion of the mapping applications are free of cost, whereas some are for some you have to pay for some of the APIs. Now, that are the technologies that are important to the Mashups. This you should remember. So the building block I told you, building block of a Mashup is a web API. To be more specific, for a Web GIS base, we will say web map APIs. Okay, web map APIs. So those were the building block of a Mashup application. Whereas the technologies that are important for this creation of a Mashup application, what are those things? The first one, you should be aware of something called asynchronous JavaScript and XML, AJAX. So this is one particular technology that you should be aware in order to create a Mashup architecture or a Mashup application. What does XML mean? To be very specific, very simple line, we can say it changes the part of a web page content without reloading the display and behavior of the entire page. Okay, a part of web page is changing without reloading the entire page. So a small section, only the map section I am changing. The other part remains same. I am not refreshing my page again and again. It is only a small section of that web page which is getting changed or which is getting refreshed rather than reloading the entire page. Okay, so this is in the very simplest form. This we can understand JavaScript like this only. Other part is really simple syndication or the RSS, some more specific GeoRSS. So these are also very important component or the technology. What is this used for? This is used for the data syndication. Suppose you want to get the data from different forms and present it in your own form or in your own style in a web page. So in that case, this GeoRSS or the mapping RSS are used. Often the data exchange happens through XML only. Means I am fetching the data from the source website in XML format and I am reproducing the same information in my website, in my own style, in my own, it can be my in HTML form or it can be a or some other visualization form that can be displayed over there. So GeoRSS is another aspect for it. Okay, another is representational state transfer, REST. This is again one architectural style through which allows us to get access to the remote resources. How to access those resources? Through URL we can access those resources. Another is service-oriented access protocol. So this is again advanced protocol which not only which has a large number of methods for accessing the remote resources. Similarly, web services, semantic web, screen scraping. So these are the technologies which are used in case of for developing an advanced Mashup application. So what are the skills for web Mashup application development? But better understanding of the programming skills is involved here. Scientific sufficient knowledge of the involved technologies and tools, you should be aware of those things. Clear definition of the intended purpose and requirement based on intended business process. What is the intended purpose and what are the requirements and which business process or which particular decision making process you are intended. So that definition should be very much clear. Okay, so there should be a good understanding of the potential social organizational implications as well as the technological restrictions. It is not like technology is there so I can do anything. So you should be aware about all those potential restrictions as well. Now let us take one example for this. So generating a forest fire alert. So this is my one. I want to generate one, we can say a Mashup architecture or a spatial decision support system for forest fire alert, for generating forest fire alert. How to do it? So the very first question should come to your mind that how to generate it. What are the basic requirements? and what are the sources of data from where I will get the data. First of all, what is the data set required and what will be the source of that data. So these are the requirements which you need to think of before proceeding further into this particular application. Now, if you see it here, for a forest fire, we will say weather data is required, forest type map is also required, terrain data is required, demographic data is required, and there can be some other parameters as well in the form of the data which are required for it. Now, these all data sets, they are not coming from a single source. Weather data, suppose we talk about the Indian context, so IMD, they are IMD or sometimes MOSDEC. In ISRO also we have one center by the name MOSDEC. They are also publishing the weather data. They publish the data both in the form of a web API as well as raw data. So I can utilize this data set from there. Forest type map. Now this maps, from where I can get this map? This map, Forest Survey of India, suppose. They are publishing these kinds of maps. So this is altogether a different organization. So similarly, the terrain data. Terrain data means like height or the elevation. These informations are also required sometimes for generating the fire alerts. It may be in the decision-making process where these data sets are required. Similarly, demographic data, the census data I require, and there can be other data sets. So these all data sets are required, and they have different sources also. So we should be aware whether we are getting the data in the form of an API or a raw data. So that our web, this Mashup application is developed. So this is one example. Another example, if we say water set development plan, the same question arises here also. What are the data sets required and what are the sources for it? Now here, if you see it here, what are the data sets required? Water bodies, rivers, drainage, all those data sets are required. Crop data, from where this crop data will come. Terrain data, demographic data, this also required. Agriculture field boundaries are also required. Soil moisture data is required. Other data sets. So these all data sets, there are different data sets and we have different sources for them. Okay, and if I am going for the web map or a web GIS application development, then I should see whether I am getting the data set in the form of a web API. If I am getting the data form in a web API or a web service, then it becomes easier for me to develop my Mashup application in the web platform. Okay. Now, suppose you say the water body is not available directly to me, so we can convert this to some different format. GeoJSON format is there, or we can suppose the crop data. Let us take this example of crop data. So crop data, I am getting the crop data not as an API, but raw data I have got it. Okay, this is a boundaries and this is the raw data. So what I can do, I can publish that data in my local server also in the form of a WMS or a WCS or a WFS. WFS is more effective, I told you earlier also. So that way we can publish it data locally also, and then I can integrate it into my web application. So we will see that how to do that one. Another is flood warning system. Now here again, weather data is required, discharge, terrain, slope elevation, demographic data, geomorphology. So again, one new data set has come up over here. So how to get these data set in the form of an API or a web service and use it for my Mashup application. So these all are required basically. So now let us take one example also. Not going further. So I want to create. Now we have understood that for developing a Mashup application, I require data from different sources, and if I am getting that data in the form of an API or in the form of a web service, then it becomes easier for me to develop that mapping application. So as I promised earlier in the starting of this lecture, that without writing a piece of code also we can generate it. So let us take this first example only. I don't want to write any piece of code and I want to generate my web map. How to do that one? So the problem I am defining in my mind is that I want to generate a mapping application or a web map, or we can say web GIS based Mashup application, wherein I require the census data, because I want to do village wise data analysis at village level. Similarly, I require the land cover map of that, and I require the geomorphology. It can be a water set development plan. Suppose I want to make, and these are the 3 data sets which uh, I have selected. These are required for my watershed development program. Okay, there can be many more also, but I am taking only 3 examples. So from where these data sets will come, let us take it for the state of Uttarakhand. So this is the village census data, land use, land cover map of Uttarakhand, geomorphology map. From where I will get it? Some sources I have identified, and I have find out that I can get the village boundaries from this particular URL. HTTPS maps dash public. I have discussed this one in the earlier lecture also. This particular URL is giving me, if you see it here, this village level data is also published in a geo server only over here. Okay, so geo server is a very popular, we can say, map publishing tool which is used across the globe. So this particular data set is available at this URL in published in geo server as a WFS. So I will take the data from here also. Again, land use land cover map. I told you this, we can get it from Bhuvan Geo portal. So they have also excellent one mechanism they have made in their portal itself, where you can get the URL of that map as well. Okay, so this is the Bhuvan. This I have taken from internet only. And the third, geomorphology. Again, this geomorphology map is also available in Bhuvan Geo portal as a web service. So these are the 3 data sets which we want to make use. So from this I will generate one application which will look something. It should look something like that. Okay, I should have it is a one software called QGIS based Mashup application. I should have a title over here. I should have this maps over here. Then I should have this highway, road layer also. I want road layer, and UK LULC, village census data, geomorphology also. So this particular application, let us try to develop. Okay, so without writing any code. So for that you require one QGIS software is required. All of you may be aware of it. So QGIS is that software which can be utilized for this particular purpose. Developing a web map. So first of all, we require the APIs of those data sets. The first one, our first one was, if you check it here, that was village census data of Uttarakhand. So this is the URL in the form of a WFS. I am getting it. Okay, so I am just copying this URL from here, Control C here, and then already I have created it here. If you go to this part over here, if you see in the QGIS, at the top I have settings over here. Okay, in the layers, layer option is there. So in the layers I can say create, not add layer, and then I can go to this add WFS. Bottom if you go, you will get WFS layer also. Add WFS layer. Now here I can create new also. New, you will see it here. I will give some name to it. VILLAG village underscore UK. Some name I am giving, and I am copying that URL over here. Control V, and then we can just click it here, like at the bottom is okay. So if you see it here, village underscore UK will be listed at this server connection. Now you just connect it. So it will connect it here. Okay, and then it will show all the WFS layers that are available at this particular location. So what is that method through which it is getting listed? It was get capabilities. I have told you one method of WFS was get capability. So using that get capability method, it is listing all the layers over here which are available in this particular URL or the maps or the geo server. Okay, now I want only one, so I can just filter it, can search it here, village. So it has given me so many over here, village. You can just highlight it. So this is your Uttarakhand. Select it, and then once you select it, and then I can add it here. Just by clicking the add button, this layer will be added to your map. Okay, and if you see it here, it will be added over here. So it will take some time. You just try, be careful how much data set you are taking over there. So you see that layer is coming over here. So once this village census data I have got, Now this is as a vector layer with all the attributes it has come. Now let us try what are the attributes with it, because sometimes before publishing it to the internet domain we should check it. What are those attributes, or whether we require all those attributes or not for web mapping. This is the census map. Okay, socioeconomic data for the web. So it will just 2 minutes. It will take 2 or 3 seconds. So your map is now loaded here. Now you try to right click over here, and then you can check open attribute table. Right click, open attribute table. So it will show you all the attributes associated with these boundaries. It is taking time. It means it has a lot, many attributes are there. If attributes are less, then it will take a lesser time. So let us see what are those attributes. Some time it is taking. Not because there are many. We could have taken a smaller area also, but let us take it. It will not take much time. So once all the attributes are displayed, then we can select a few attributes which are useful for our web map. We will generate one web map also. Now it will just come up. It will just come up here, and yes, yes. So it has done the task. If you see it here, so many attributes are there. Whether all these attributes are required or not, that is again we have to see. There are many features. How many features are there? If you see it here, there are 16,666 polygons are there, and they have these many attributes. If you see, so many attributes are there. We don't require these many attributes. I require only the village name and the total population, how many males and females are there. So I can just edit those attributes also. If you click it here, or toggle editing, and you right click over in the pencil over here, and then you can delete some of the fields from here. If you see it here, there is an option over here to delete the field. Option is disabled because it is not allowing editing. We have taken the WFS layer, but that source has not allowed us to edit it. So that's why it is disabled here. So not an issue. We have another option for that. We can hide some of the attributes. Okay. So just minimize it. So right click over here, properties. If you can click here in the properties section, and then we can take some of the attributes, like select this SID and then hide it, not required, DID, select hidden. Okay, so you can do for all this, for all the many of the attributes, only you can leave this total population. This already I have done it for you. If you see it here, already I had added that layer over here. If you see it here, properties, so I have many of the layers I have already hidden. This is, if I say SID, okay, it is not done here. So what I will do, let us try to, we require only this village name, actually name required. So I can give one alias for it, name of village. This should be proper here. Alias you can give, because this name will be visible to the web map user. Okay, this is required. SID, I say I don't require that. Let us go to hidden. DID also not required. I can do it hidden. So there are many actually. Over here, village code also not required. I don't want to show it to anyone, because this is, I have not created this data set. This data sets have been created by some other person, but I don't require all the data set. I require only a few. Okay, census code also I don't require. Hidden, you can hide it here. State, yes, take the state name. STAT, state name. We can take it, name of the state. This is the, because here it is written only state. I will say state name. District, yes, I will say district name also. I will give one name to it. It is district name. Okay, and then it is required. Yes, it is fine. And then I will take sub-district. That is not required. I can hide it, hidden. Town and villages, not required. I can hide it here. Ward also not required for me. We can hide it. ED not required. You hide it. Level 1 not required. Hide it. And then name 1, name of the village we have done. True, not required. What is this? We don't understand. Number of household. Okay, number of households also, let us hide it. Number of total POT underscore P it has written. So I require here total population, total POT, total POPULA, total population. I will write. This message will be displayed. TOT underscore P is the database name, but I require the name should be like this. So that's why I can write it here. Total population, total male population also we require. Total male POPU, total male population. We will say here. Okay. Just copy it here, then Control C, and then total female population also required. Control V. I will do it here. Female. Total female population required. Others are not required. I can say hidden, but here the only shortcoming is there. We have to do it one by one here. Okay, there is no shortcut for it because it is not providing that option for me to do all the attributes at the one go. Okay. Now if you see it here, it will take some time. So many are there. So I am not going. I will take some more from the bottom, so that my data access become faster. Otherwise, it will take some time here. Hidden. I will take some more here. Hidden. Let us take some from the middle also. Village name. Okay, this we can take it as VILLAGE, village name. Okay, full we can write it here. Village name. This code we don't require that. Hidden we can say. Block code also we not required. Hidden. Tehsil is also there. We can hide it here. District code also we don't require. Female worker, hidden. ST code also we can hide it here. It is hidden there, already hidden. This also we can hide here. So these fields can be made hidden. So we can find some shortcut for doing all these things. You can write some code also, so that you can in one go you are making all these not required fields as hidden. Although this Python, this QGIS allows a programming interface also. We can write small codes in Python which will allow us to automate this particular task. If you see it here, it is taking a lot of time. Okay, so I will not go further into it. Hidden here. But I think the concept is understood. So I will say apply here, then OK. Okay. Now I don't want this red color also. I'm preparing the data basically. First of all, properties. Then again, I can say symbology field. We can set symbology also for it. Symbology here, simple fill. We require only simple line, and size also we want lesser one, 0.06. Apply, and then OK. So your map is here. Now we want the LULC map also of from Bhuvan Geo portal. That already all of you have understood. For your it is the same method now. Layer, add WMS layer. Okay. Now here I have already added that layer for you by UK LULC 1506. So both the layers are there. Now village boundary is also there, and I have one LULC map also overlaid on top of it. Let us try to give some name to it here again. Properties. If you see it here, it is giving NYU, or if I say in the source, NYU 2541, something is written, but I require the layer name. I will say village sensor, village boundaries, VOUNDARIES, village boundaries. Okay, village boundaries of UTTARAKHAND. This name you have to give here as an Uttarakhand. Then if you say it here, so you are getting all the village boundaries also in the form of a vector. Now I will say apply, and then OK. So one thing is done. Again, so this is also very much required, because otherwise that name will be displayed over there. The earlier one I am removing from here. Remove layer, yes. And then same we can give for this Bhuvan LULC also. Properties, and then the name you should give proper. Short name I will give it over here. Just write here land use land cover. Land use LAND. Land use land cover. Okay. So, or we can give this as a title also over here. Control C, title, land use land cover map of of Uttarakhand of 2015. If you see it here, 15-16. So I have taken it off 2015-16. So this one step you have to carry it out, because you are going to publish this map over the web. So these because the layer name which has come from the internet, when you are accessing that URL, that URL is having some certain coded name with it, but I require the name to be which is readable, so that people can understand it, other person can understand it. So I have taken now two sources. I have taken village boundary, I have taken over here for the entire Uttarakhand. Now LULC map I have taken from Bhuvan Geo portal. Let us take one more road layer I want now. One more data set I want in this particular map. That is road layer. From where I will get the road layer? So there is one very popular open source, or we can say a web data repository by the name OpenStreetMap. So let us try to take those road layer from the OpenStreetMap. How to get those road layer over here? So for that, it will come directly. If you see it here, in that browser section in the left hand side, XYZ tiles, OpenStreetMap. Just drag it to your map here. So it will add it as a background. Either you can take the entire map, or if you are interested only in the road, so you need to extract those road layer from this OpenStreetMap for Uttarakhand state only. How to do that one now? Only road layers of Uttarakhand I want. I don't want the other road layers. Okay, so that can be done also very easily here. So we have one plugin for it, manage plugin. So you can download those layers basically in your QGIS over here. So there is Quick OSM, Quick QUICK, Quick OSM. So this particular plugin is required for downloading this village bound, or sorry, for this road layer from internet over here, from this OpenStreetMap. So install plugin. So once it is installed, now I want that road layer for Uttarakhand state only. I don't want the other road layer. So you can go to this vector over here, then Quick OSM, click on Quick OSM, access the plugin, and then here at this place there are many keys. So if you just click on this key here, so many things are visible to you here. If you see it here, in this particular window will open. Now here I want keys. So key is my highway, you can write it here, HIGHWAY, because they have classified all the roads by this particular name, highways, HIGS, highways. If you go at this drop down menu over here, again you will find it here also as highway. Either you can select it from there, or you can directly type also. Values, I want, what are those values basically? So values are, if you see here, the values are, what are those values? Motorway, trunk, primary, secondary, tertiary, so any kind of road you want. So I am mainly interested in the primary road. So I am selecting the primary road. If I want all the roads, then I can leave it as such. So currently for this demo, we are taking only the primary road. Okay, now if you come at the bottom, so there is run query. Just click on this run query. Now it will, one more option is there. Actually, it is asking named area is required when query in. Now if you see it here, in, there are various options around, canvas extent, layer extent, and non-spatial. I want canvas extent because my entire Uttarakhand is displayed on that layer, on that map extent. So I want the layer in that extent only. So select this canvas extent and then run query. Okay, so it will take some time. We will see it here. So once it is downloaded, so it is running that query. Because since I have selected for the whole Uttarakhand region, so it may take some time for downloading the data sets. So once it is downloaded, now one more thing is there. Yes, it is successful. If you see it here, I have got all the road layers here. Now OpenStreetMap you can switch off. So all these roads are now downloaded in your computer. But I don't want this extra. I want only within this Uttarakhand boundary. So for that, what you can do, you can just right click it here, toggle editing, and then you can edit it here. I will just suppose I am selecting one, these features, select, click delete, and it will be deleted. It is again select delete, and this all the extra layers which are outside Uttarakhand can be removed. You need to do a little bit of editing also, because if you are using the data set, it can lead to some other problems. So it is always better to clean the data. So once it is cleaned, if you see it here, our data set is now cleaned. It is also removed from here. Let us remove it here. Let us remove this point also, this point also here, this point also here. There are some more layers at the bottom. Just select them and delete it here. And select these also. These can also be deleted. Okay, it is again loading because we have taken the web and we are taking the data as a web service from internet. So that's why it is loading again and again. Let us move up here. If you see any other data set is required here, no. Now the entire roads are clean. Now I have the road layer of only Uttarakhand region. Let us try to give one color to it. I can click here, toggle editing. It will save, edit, or you can click on toggle editing. It will ask for saving it. Yes, save the data set. So now your road layer is saved. Primary points I don't require, so we can just remove it from here. So this is actually basically, if you don't want to write any piece of code and you want to create your web map, so this is one method. But here there are certain limitations. You don't have the full control on that mapping application. So it is always, if you want to go for an advanced version or advanced map you want to generate, then you need to go for some sort of coding is required. Otherwise, if you are not going for a very sophisticated or a very advanced mapping application, then this QGIS and this plugin will solve your purpose also. So if you see it here, I have the data set, highway, the road layers from OSM. I have village boundaries from GeoSeer as a WFS, Uttarakhand, LULC map from Bhuvan Geo portal. So 3 sources we have added. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to create a Mashup application. So or we can take many sources also, like geomorphology I was saying over here. This geomorphology map can also be taken from internet. So I will not take that one. So you can try of your own that layer also. So I will create now a web map out of it. How to do that one? First, before going for that, I want to give some title to this map. So you can go to this project and there are certain project properties. Suppose the project title is Uttarakhand, let us say a watershed development plan I want to make. Watershed, WATR, watershed, DEVELOP, development plan for UTTARAKHAND for Uttarakhand. So you have to give some project title also to it. Apply it here and click OK. Okay, so project title, because that will be the title of your web map. You should remember that one. This highway, again, one thing was missing. I will just correct it here. Right click on this, give some name to it. The name is roads. Okay, roads I can give it here. Apply. Okay, we can change the symbology for this road. Double click at this place, symbology, because it is now local layer. So we can take the color as a red color. We can take it here. Symbology you have to apply for it. Apply. Okay. So now if you see it here, it has the village boundaries. It has the road network. It has the LULC map. It can also have a satellite data. Let us, because yesterday only in the last class, I have told you how to publish your satellite data as a web service. And we have already published one of the satellite data of Uttarakhand, of Dehradun region. So let us try to take that one also into our mapping application. So how to do that one? This GeoServer, look, you can type it over here, and then I will go to my layer preview. The name of the layer is, it will take certain time, layer preview. Okay, and then if you remember the name, so we can already, I think I have added this GeoServer in QGIS in my last exercise. If you see it here, layer, if you say add layer, add WMS layer. If you see, I had created that connection in the last class, local server over here. So let us connect it directly here. So once you connect it, it will, what it will do? It will call the get capability method for the local GeoServer, and it will list all those layers over here. If you see it here, there are not only these layers, there are many other layers also. Why it has not listed all these layers? It has listed only this list 3. Why? Because you can see I have created one folder over there by the name Web GIS. Inside Web GIS, I am calling that WMS and the method called get capability. So it is listing only 2 layers are there. So I will take list 3 Dehradun, add, and then close. So your satellite data is also coming as a small portion over here. Now, once my entire work is done, from this we want to create a map, a web map, which we want to disseminate to n number of people. This is why I am seeing it. I am able to use it. I am doing all my work on top of it. But now I have the users who want to see my application in the internet domain, and they don't have this QGIS or any other software they don't have. So we can disseminate this data as a web map to them. How to do that? It is simple here. I am not writing any code over here. If you see it here, and again you have to go for the plugin, manage plugin. This plugin called QGIS to web. Okay, QGIS to web. It is already installed there. If it is not installed, you just install it by clicking the install button over here. Close, and then I will see it in the web. It is QGIS to web. Create web map. So you need not to do anything. It will create the web map for you. With this map, you can deploy in your web server then. Okay, you have to copy. You have to remember it. It is creating, but that is an HTML file only. What you have to do? You have to take this entire package and keep it in the web apps folder of your Apache Tomcat, or if it is some other web server, so there is the public folder is there you have to keep it. Then only it will be disseminated. Otherwise, it will remain with you only. Now, if you see there are certain options for creating that map. This is the list 3 map here, road layers, all the layers it has displayed. So I can create the open layer map, or I can create a leaflet map also. Options are there. So I will just create the leaflet map, and I will say update preview. So it will take some time, because we have taken a heavy data set. We could have taken a smaller data set as well, but anyhow, because we want to see the entire Uttarakhand states, so it won't take much time. It will not allow me to do other things also over here. So once that preview is created, then we can, just by clicking this export map, you will get the map like this over there. This map will be displayed to you. Okay, we have seen it here. No? Okay, I will just minimize it. It is now stopped. Huh? Let it do, complete the work, then only we will start. So it has taken many resources. Now this background color also we could have given to it. Okay, so it is done, and then we can export this map. Now if you see, there is a preview here. The entire maps are there. This is your map, and it can directly be now exported as an HTML file. But before going that, you have to select some options like appearance. I want the layer list as collapsible. Collapsible means I need a layer switcher. So layer switcher is required. Yes, select this layer switcher, and then there are some more options also. This you can search it over here. Layer search you want, so that also can be done. So other options. So I am not taking. I am only require the layer switcher. So for that I have selected add layer list collapsed. Okay, I will just zoom it here. If you see it here, it will come like this. Add layer list collapsed. So in the layer groups it is coming. Okay, so it is there then, and then we can directly export it. So if you see it, it is exporting the map as a web map. Now your map will be available as a HTML file in web browser. If you see it here, your map is here now. Watershed development plan for Uttarakhand. This is the boundary there. Now, if you see it here, we have not changed the name of this list 3 Dehradun. That's why it is looking list 3 underscore Dehradun underscore November something. But road case, we are having the proper layer. Now we can switch it off on all these layers. And if I want only the list 3 data sets, it will display it here. If we want only the road layers are there. Village boundaries I want. Some time it will take because there were many boundaries, there were so many records over there. So similarly, the LULC map, it will display that also. Some time that boundary is taking. So, but it gets displayed also over here. That is not an issue. It will display over here. So it will take some time, but it will come at the end. It will be displayed over here. Take it here. Road layer also, switch it off, and then village boundary also. So once all the layers are there, now right now only 2 are there. So you just decide upon your data size as well. How much data you are displaying on top of it. So this map is created. Now the other section, the remaining part, you can customize it. You're developing your web application. Okay. So your small map is created. So you can otherwise there's another option over here. If you see it here, I will click it here. Okay. Now it is doing little bit. It is still doing it there. That's why those layers are not coming over there. Still, let me check it here. If I click here, okay. So your map is done. So your first exercise is done. This map we have created using open. Now once it is created, you can see it here where that map is lying. Basically, that map lies somewhere in the in your C drive. Then if you talk about the users, and then here it is. I think I have by my name I have done it over here. Now there is one apps folder. We have to check for that folder also hidden. It is a hidden item. Select that hidden item. Then if you see it here, we have app data, and then in app data we have local, and then here we have QGIS to web. Temp is there, and then QGIS to web, and this is your map here. Okay, you copy this folder and you can directly paste this folder in your web server, and your maps will be displayed. So once it is done, now this was about creating a Mashup application without even writing a single piece of code. Only we have used one software called QGIS. We have added very different kinds of layers in my QGIS environment. And if you see it here, let us again, it is a little bit hanged here, but not an issue. You can close it here. Then QGIS is closed now. Wait for program to respond. Let us wait for it. So by the time it gets complete, so what we can do here, so we can close it. Okay, we can close it. I think it is done. Cancel here. So your map is created. So your web mapping application was, this kind of map was created. This background, so we can save it in the QGIS only. We can set that environment. There is in the project properties itself, there is one option for changing the background also, so that background can also be changed. Okay, so this kind of map we are getting. If you see it here, still that map is there. This is the map. Although QGIS has opened, but still your map is. It is the web map is not responding to long running script. We have taken a very heavy data to it. So these are some of the limitations which will occur if you are going in the, now this boundaries have also come. If you can see over here, it was taking a lot of time. If you see here, without writing the code also, I am able to see, I'll just click it here in the boundary. It is there. Click it here. It will show me all the attributes also there. So right now we have not selected any of the attribute for display purpose. That's why all are 0 or coming over here. But we need to do some settings. It has not loaded it fully. So this is one method of creating your. If you see it half only, it has loaded. So your application is now ready. So now let us quickly see the leaflet application also. This particular application. Okay. Now here actually I don't want to give much time to it because. Already I have discussed many things on the mapping application. Leaflet yesterday only I have told you. So what I will do today, we will try to see how to this map, so we are able to see there from different platforms. Now the layer switcher was also there yesterday, we have seen it. Now these mapping tools and this application here on the left hand side, I am having the map. Whereas on the right hand side, I am having my web application. So one banner is there, then one heading is there, and some text we can write it over here. And this section may contain all the mapping information. So how to develop this one? Now this is again one Mashup application here. If you see here, I will not write the code here. If I see, I have already taken that code for you, and quickly we will try to understand it here. How to develop this one? If you see, it is similar but which we have done yesterday. One HTML is required, and this is your first link styling. Okay, this you can take it from the leaflet website. This link is directly available as such. You copy from there and paste it over here. Okay. Second is Ajax. This is again available in the leaflet only. This is required for drawing. Now for if you see, first let us execute that application which I had created. If you see it, what are the things, so that it becomes clear for us. So I will show you over here at here Web GIS. One script I have created by the name called example1. Okay, this was your watershed one, and this is your same example here. Now if you see here, I had created one small application which contains this OpenStreetMap, and it also contains some other layers also, like rail layer I have taken as a web service, and similarly I have taken Bhuvan LULC. Okay, it is getting displayed. And then we have taken state boundaries also. So all the boundaries are there, the maps are there. Okay. Now apart from that, there is another functionality that can be added, that is on click. I have added one photograph over here. So all this we will try to see. Apart from this, we can also add this mapping tool as well here. If you see it here, although it is not displaying here, but I have one satellite data also for it. State satellite zone data. Okay, it is not right now, it is published over here. Now if you see it here, I want to get this entire boundary over here. So we can make this tool also directly with some few lines of code. We can draw on top of our map also. It is created. I can have one point also there. Let us create one point here. So I can have one line also here. So suppose I want to draw this particular road. So these roads can also be drawn. So these all can be done very easily using. This is not possible there in your QGIS. Whereas in OpenLayer, these functionalities are there. So you can create these layers also. You can further save it here for your own. So this you can provide to your users also, so that they can do the mapping on top of it. Okay, these kinds of mapping can be done. Now how to do this one? If you see here, apart from these two layers like leaflet and styling of leaflet, we are also taking one more library, that is leaflet.draw. Okay, so this again from internet I can take it, leaflet.draw, copy it there and just paste it over here. So this library is also done there. Now this library where I am using, if you go at the bottom, this all the same code only, layer adding and all those things. Now if you see it here at the bottom, I am saying here this particular code variable I have, so it draw control, L.control draw. Then I have, this all code is as such available in the internet. I have not written it myself, although I have changed it little bit. This like colors I have changed over here and some names I have changed, but otherwise this entire lines of code is available over there in the internet. You can download it and just paste it over here and customize it here, because currently the scenario is like that. You need not to write the code from the scratch. Something is directly available. You take it from there and customize it of your own use for your own purpose. Okay, the same thing I have also done. It is a draw item feature, then add layer, draw items. And now draw control, one variable I created. What are those controls? I want the polygon, shape options, color purple. This you can change it. Allow intersection, it is false. I'm making true, I can make it. Draw errors also. Errors, how to draw, orange color, timeout. These all small settings you can change. Otherwise, but you need not to change all these things. Okay, if you have the understanding what is a variable, and what are these brackets and commas, so, and this how to write this particular thing, so then you can easily customize it. So this option directly I have taken it from there. Then once this draw control variable is created, now this draw control variable we have added there. map.add control and draw control variable was created, that directly added over here. And then another option was there, on clicking we are getting something, like if I was clicking on this, I was getting this photograph. So that is called, in this programming part, we call it as a pop-up information. So if you see it here, map, I have taken that also over here, pop-up marker. So this is small code here. We can say we can create one variable. I have created one marker over there. This marker can be created by l.marker. You give the latitude, longitude, and marker options. You can type it here. Marker options means title Dehradun. It is clickable, yes. Draggable, yes. Icon, custom icon I have defined for it. Okay, and then add to map. Your map is the widget which I have told you yesterday also. If you see it here, map, the first line of code was variable map that was created. Okay, var map, l.map, and then map options over here. So the same thing, I am adding those controls to the map. Similarly, these layers are added. Now if you see it here, once the marker is created, then I can create only one or two lines. If you see it here, marker bind pop-up. Okay, this is the marker created. Now there is one method called bind pop-up. So what is the pop-up? Here I am writing some HTML code here. If you see it here, Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, and IMG style Dehradun, and then image name IRS.jpg. So this file is lying over here only. If you see it here, IRS.jpg. So it is calling it directly, taking it from there, and it is binding it with the marker. And width also we can define it as different properties. So we can have some attribute of options also over here. So this was like a small demo for creating your web map application using the leaflet. So I hope, although I cannot, I can share this code in the study material. You can go through this code and see how you can further enhance this particular code for your own purpose. Otherwise, you try with the QGIS, wherein you can develop ready to use a mapping application, and you can publish it in your web server so that other people can also visualize it. Yeah, thank you very much. This was from my side. Now I will take some questions after a break of just 5 minutes.